only begotten Son, heir to the throne of heaven at the right hand of the God El or Yahweh, and that Jesus was the heir sent to rule over the earth, but he had to defeat the devil and get the keys from hell. We got to talk about that before we get into the rest of this stuff. So let's get into it. So why that's important, let's go into it for those who don't know. Jesus is the King of Kings, Lord of Lords, because Jesus was not only given rulership over the earth, but Jesus was the heir to the throne in heaven, meant that after Jesus's mission was done, Jesus is actually the ruler in heaven as the Father go into retirement. So it's taught in the church that when you go to heaven, God the Father gonna be seated on the throne, but God the Father gonna be the dude in the back that's sitting down quiet. He like the OG, right? They said Jesus is gonna be the host of heaven. So think about what I'm telling you. Jesus, the heir to the throne of heaven, is also the host, the one telling you how things go. The host basically running shit. That don't mean that the host owns the goddamn kingdom. It just mean that the host run this shit. The motherfucker that run a building don't own the building. They just in charge of running things because the person who own that building too lazy to run it for themselves. That's Jesus' position in heaven as the heir to the throne. You got to understand something. This is going to be kind of funny, but you Christians need to think about what I'm going to say very deeply. Jesus will never own heaven because in an earthly hierarchy, when your daddy die, you own that kingdom. That's yours. But the thing about heaven, you can't die. Can you imagine being a prince in a kingdom, waiting on your daddy to die so you can rule everything, but your daddy is immortal, so you will be an eternal prince of peace? You'll never be a king of peace. Because, I mean, you'll never be king. Your daddy ain't going to never die. He's eternal. I mean, that's funny, but it's something we don't pay attention to. It's Jesus just the host, right? It even tell you that. So let's establish that, because this position Jesus got ain't the first. He ain't the first host in heaven. The first right hand to that throne was Satan. Take a minute, think about that. God in heaven had more favor with Satan than Jesus at one point. And guess what else you realizing when I teach you this? Satan and Jesus was both in heaven at the same time. Uh-oh, look here. Satan and Jesus beef started in heaven before they even came to earth. God up there with these two sons, they can't get along. Seemed like God kicked both of their ass out down to earth, and now they beefing. Now check this out now. God got tired of that shit. He said, look, both of y'all, my sons, you motherfuckers jealous of each other. Both of you get out. And he loved the world so much that he gave us his two filthy, evil ass sons. He must ain't love us that much because he didn't want them motherfuckers. So why he gave them to us? Now, if Satan was causing problems in heaven, didn't God know that if he kicked Satan down there on the earth, he would cause problems in the garden with Adam and Eve? God must be a goddamn retard. Want me to tell you why? Because if you the smartest creature in the universe and Satan was a headache for you in heaven, what make you think man was going to conquer him on earth like a fool? You couldn't keep your shit together in heaven with Satan up there. You had to kick him the hell up out of there. You couldn't tame Satan. But you brought him down here with man and thought we was going to have victory over the devil, something you never had over him. Ain't that some shit? People, we got to get this out the way before we go deep. We got to go here. We got to go here first. We got to go here first to show you the history of all this foolishness right now that we under. Now check how deep the story go, right? We cooking now. Hit the like and share button. Check how deep this shit go, right? The hypocrisy of it. God up here having favoritism, so much so he got motherfuckers fighting over his love, competing for it. So you fucked up when you start to favor Satan, but this what y'all don't realize. See, because I'm about to read you something now that's gonna blow you the hell away. And this is coming from the biblical scholars. These guys, I'm talking about all up at Yale and all that teaching theology. And I'm going to tell you what they saying about it. So according to, let me read this here because I'm pulling this up from David Bakavoy. He's from Bible Odyssey, right? They're real big on theology. So I'm going to read this to y'all because actually, let me finish with my little introduction before I read this because I ain't really quite done yet. Now, hold up a second. So we got to talk about some more stuff here first. So I'm getting this information from offline from biblical theologians or whatever. And in this one particular article, it's a long one, but I summarized it. What the guy is saying, right? And this is from his article. He's saying that is right here. He said that the war in heaven started. I'm finna actually pull it up. I'm gonna read it verbatim. Why wouldn't I? Okay. Let's read it verbatim. Because we got a lot to go over. Now, here we go. Here's what the biblical scholars are saying about the war in heaven and how God ended up kicking Satan out. But what y'all don't realize, God ended up kicking Jesus out, but he told you he just loved you so much. But after you read what I'm about to give you now, shit gets deep in theology. Listen up, Christians. This coming from This is coming from Isaiah 14 through 12 and 15 and Ezekiel 28 through 12 and 19. And this is the scriptures that these theologians are summarizing about this topic, if you wanted to find these references in the Bible. But he says, Satan was once an honored angel in heaven next to Christ. But when God said to his son, let us make man in our image, Satan was jealous of Jesus. You know what? I think I can share this with y'all. Y'all want to read along? I know I got some nice artwork up there, but let's look at some black and white for a minute. Let's read with me. You might want to see the words so you can see that I am getting it from theologians, right? So this is what they're saying. Plenty of people asking the questions we asking. So here are the answers that we're getting from the top theologians. I think we need to check it out, right? So I'm just going to start from these paraphrase passages here because this is where they're actually answering us. But we could go back and read the whole thing. I just want to hurry up and skip here to show you what to make my point. So check it out. Satan was once an honored angel in heaven next to Christ. But when God said to his son, let us make man in our image, Satan was jealous of Jesus. Stop right there before we go any further. You know why we need to stop? Guess what we're finding out? Well, I've been knew it, but guess what a lot of people finding out now? Jesus existed prior to Jesus being born on earth. Remember, Jesus was sent to the earth from heaven. Jesus is God's heavenly son, and became our earthly savior. Remember that. So what are we saying here? We're saying that Jesus' history in mythology don't start with the Immaculate Conception, yet Jesus' earthly incarnation starts with the Bible and Immaculate Conception. But is nothing in the Bible giving you the history of Jesus prior to him incarnating in the flesh. There's nothing in the Bible letting us know what was Jesus doing in heaven before he came to earth. Because now we dealing with an immortal consciousness being that existed as a consciousness, a spirit in a higher realm, but came into the flesh. What was this spirit's history prior to its earthly birth? You don't got no records of that. But I'm here to give it to you today. They took this out the Bible. See, this is in the book of the Lord's Wars. Go get the book. One of the books they took out the Bible was the book of the Lord's Wars. Those wars were not no earthly wars, brothers and sisters. These were the wars that took place in heaven. Yes, plural, ladies and gentlemen. There wasn't a war in heaven. There were wars in heaven. In these lost books, guess what we find out? That God was more patient with the damn devil than he is with man. Because the devil was causing so much problems in heaven, and God kept being merciful with Satan, giving him another chance. Satan kept waging war against God, and God would conquer Satan and give him a second chance. So that's why the whole book of the Lord's Wars are all of the damn rebellions of Satan in heaven. Are y'all hearing me? So they listen to how deep this is, what I'm about to say. Do you understand why what I'm telling you is freaking powerful? It's powerful because if what I'm saying is true, which it is, guess what that means? Wait for the bomb. It means that these bastards started recording the history on earth in motherfucking heaven. Now tell me how much sense that make. Tell me how much sense that was a history of God prior to the creation of the earth, which it couldn't have been written on trees and paper because the earth wasn't created. So that means they got paper and trees in heaven for one thing. And for another thing, that meant God wrote a book in heaven that you can hold in your hand on the earth. So really, they started recording history in another dimension? Come on, folks. Hold up. Let me look at the chat for a minute. Am I tripping right now? Because I'll stop the stream and say I'm wrong. I'm reaching too much. Am I tripping, or y'all, is this some fire research I'm giving you already and we ain't even went deep yet? Put a 1 if you're with me. Put a 2 if I'm tripping. Let me just get a status check real quick. I just need to know it because folks may be like, yeah, we was with him on the first ones, but he tripping on this one. Where we at with it? Am I dropping jewels? Put a 1. If I'm reaching too much, put a 2. Yeah, I knew I wasn't tripping. Let's keep on cooking. I knew I wasn't tripping. Let's keep on cooking. We may get a few 2s, and you better believe that them 2s are all Christians and Hebrew Israelites. Ain't none of them 2s no critical thinkers. Let me quit joking on y'all 2s. It's all good. We love y'all. But let's keep on moving. Because this is coming from the theologians. Now let's read on. It said, we got to start this over because this is powerful. It says we ain't even got to the two